Maybe. Yo, we're live. All right, what's up, everybody? Happy New Year. This is David Fox on the Keeping It Real Estate podcast. I'm the Black Belt Realtor here with my broker, Jordan Bobbitt. How we doing, Jordan?
Doing good.
Happy New Year. And my associate broker. I was like,
happy 26.
What's an associate broker? He's like, that's what I am. I was like, oh, okay. So, all right, guys, we have a lot to cover. We had obviously a week off. I was traveling for the holidays, and then how was your guys' Christmas? Anything noteworthy happen?
No, I'm good.
I am, guys. As always, it's always like I hold my breath every time we do these. If the audio or video is not good, you're like, you can't hear us, make us a little bit louder. We can fix that. Just kind of let us know, and then put in the comments like, hey, audio video is good, AV on podcast, and we got quite a bit to go into with our Reddit rundowns today. We have some Reddit rundowns. We have a few Facebook, and then we're going to dive into the world. I don't want to beat them up too bad, but there are the world of online real estate gurus.
Wannabes.
Well, I mean, he knows just enough to be dangerous, and I think that's my woodshop teacher in high school. Back, they still had a woodshop. He said, it's not the things you don't know that kill you. It's the things you're sure about. And so when you speak so brazenly about things, you're like, no, this is totally, totally legal. And, well, maybe. And we're going to find out later on. So if you follow any online gurus, one particular we're going to dive into later in the show. We're going to break it down and just kind of give you maybe a legal standpoint from a realtor, decades of real estate experience here in this room. So let's get right into it, y'all. And Jordan, I'm going to punt this first one to you. So this says, let's see. I want to see if I can screen. Yeah, let's get in the habit of screen sharing. Perfect. All right. The golden handcuffs are real. Is anyone else staying in a house they hate just because of their 3% rate? Let me get on my violin real quick. I was talking to a friend yesterday who's miserable in their 2-bedroom condo, but they literally can't afford to move because their current mortgage is 2.8. If they bought a similar place today, their payment would nearly double. It feels like we're in this weird era where people are house rich, but stuck. Has anyone else actually bitten the bullet and given up a sub 3% rate for a house that actually fits their life, or are we all just waiting for the mythical rate drop that might never happen? Jordan, so what's your take on this? First off, besides, I'm grateful.
One, if you've got a 3% or a sub 3% mortgage, chances are you probably bought the house 2020, 21.
Yep.
Depending on what market you're in, I can only speak for our immediate market in the southeastern Michigan area. You're selling that house and profiting so much that you're able to put a large chunk down on the next property, and although you may still have a little bit higher payment, you are getting that bigger, nicer house that you need. Or maybe it's just a little bit different, but you're not stuck in that quote unquote bad house that you are stuck in. Secondly, and I just lost my train of thought. That's how it goes sometimes. But yeah, I mean, the first thing is, like I said, you're going to have that large chunk to put down as a down payment. So your payment's going to be, I don't want to say relatively the same, but I think even someone in the comments said that, hey, we thought about this too. Then we did the math and realized, well, we've got so much equity in our current house that when we go and put that towards the next house,
sure,
our payment isn't too much different. But I mean, I really don't think we need to get down to the 2.5%, 3% interest range again. It's a dangerous ballgame to be playing.
I'll take it.
Yeah, you'll assume it. You'll assume. Well, maybe you can just buy it. Maybe you just take over the payments and rent out the house.
There are. I think Shut up.
And if you want, I can put all that together for a $5,000 finder's fee.
It's all totally legal.
That's some foreshadowing for later in the show. Yeah. Oh, dang. I mean, that they are a lot of. I mean, it's a good thing to have. Obviously, they're good. Do a lot of banks allow assumptions? It seems like a lot of them don't.
There are some that are assumable. VAs are always assumable to another veteran.
To another vet, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So that can be good. I mean, if you received a especially with when a vet does a no money down, right? So even if they're there 5 years, they're really not paying the loan down a lot because most of that first 5 years is all interest, right?
Sure.
So when that next person comes in, if interest rates went from 6 to 8, and those are all doable average numbers.
Yep.
So, but if it went up to 8%, but now all of a sudden I got to put 10% down, but I'm going to go from an 8 to a 6%, I'll come up with my 10%.
Yeah, of course.
Because and what that sometimes does, because I'm dating myself, 30 years ago when banks were doing assumable mortgages a lot more, my house was worth more now.
Of course.
Because now,
it's a
payment
people
thing,
shop
right?
for the payment. Yeah.
So people shop payments, and so I could sell my house for $10,000 more than the identical house right next door because your payment was going to still be less, even though you're paying $10,000 more.
I think people are. I think they're having some amnesia of what the housing market was like in 2020 and 2021, and what the people back then were squawking over. They're like, I'm not paying over asking because it's not sustainable.
And I'm not bringing $20,000 cash to close because I have to fill the appraisal gap.
Yeah, absolutely. They're like, I just won't do it. So, it's kind of like, what do you want? Do you want, like, you say you want the interest rate, but with the interest rate usually comes, I mean, if rates dropped tomorrow to 2.5%, what could we reasonably expect prices to do?
Go up.
Go up. Of course.
Lot.
Of course. Right. So it's not like, I think it's like, and I will also add onto this.
You're buying a house, right? You're not buying the rate. You can always refinance later.
Correct.
And that's something that people need to understand, that I can always refinance at a later date.
Yep. And, I think, at the end of the day, you're owning a house. Like a 2-bedroom condo, I mean, it's tight. Something I've been thinking about a lot, man. We drove through Kentucky on the way to Florida.
Oh, you guys drove?
Probably tickets were like $3,000. Well, we fly Delta, so I mean, they probably would have been cheaper on Spirit, but like.
We're fighting this right now with Sherry. We go down in February for the cruise, and Delta's like $800 or $900 per
Delta's
person.
expensive.
Where Spirit was like $250, $350.
Spirit, it still would have been like $1,500 though for our entire family. We got 5 of us, right? And they to fly. So we drive, and we're driving through Kentucky and Tennessee and these things, and you just see like, I mean, those are like old. This is just an older era, right? And they have some new builds, but like people, they raised families of 5 in 800 or 900 square foot houses, and so they go. And I actually, on the same time this Reddit came out, that I saw another article like, people are so stuck, and we need an upstairs, and we need a like I really think that lacks perspective. I think it lacks perspective on not only a local scale, historically, like the average. You talk to a family with a kid, and what do they want? What size house do they want? 2 kids. What size house do they want?
Minimum 3-bedroom.
Yeah, minimum. And what size footage?
1,500
with 2 kids. They want a minimum 50. They can't get it done with less than 1,500 square feet.
And a basement.
Grandpa did it with 900 and 1,000.
My dad did it with like 600.
I know your dad was a rare breed. Yeah. So I think it's just perspective is really what it comes down to, and your lifestyle creep keeps.
I think lifestyle, Dave, is a huge portion of it, and man, it's a long read. But one of my friends from high school just posted this morning. It was a story about an old guy and talking to his grandson who was still living at home, complaining, that he couldn't afford to buy a house, but he just Ubered in some food for $28.
Oh, I've seen this one, yeah.
And then,
I've seen that. I've read that one.
And the grandpa was talking, he was going to go reheat his food.
Yeah.
And the kid was talking about his $7.50, latte, and he was talking, he just kept on talking about all the money he was wasting. And the grandpa just kept on saying, well, I'll go get my coffee that I paid 50 cents for, and I can get free refills. And just kept going on and on and on, how he drives an old beater car and he does this. And the kid kept on just like arguing every step. And at the end of the day, I've said it before, 25 years ago, I was working at Sam's Club, and somebody was arguing with me about, man, how it must be nice. How can you afford a house when we're all sitting at the same table making the same dollar amount? And it was easy. You know, you're smoking cigarettes, you're partying on the weekend, you're driving a brand new car, you go out to eat all the time. And when I added it up, I was literally $50 difference from what they waste compared to what my house payment was.
Oh wow. Yeah, I think that's part of it, and then I think that's a big part of it. But the other side of that coin is you got a lot of equity, like Jordan was saying.
Oh, that's huge.
So I mean, you own a house, and people are super envious of your rate. I'm not going to feel super sorry for you. You know, if you feel stuck because we need something else, then move. Well,
Time.
we can't afford it right now. Then
in time you will move. It's just a matter of how long are you willing to stay in your situation. Sooner or later you're going to have to move, and that rate's going to disappear.
It depends. Yeah, if they're in a 2-bedroom condo, yeah, that's tight, right? Like, so I mean, you're in a condo, like that's super tight, especially if you've got family of whatever. But you know, the other option, people don't earn more. Like, just earn more. Go earn more money. Well, you know, my boss didn't give me a raise. Get a second job. Get a better paying job. Go, you know, like the earning more. I think, you know, people don't like to quote him, but Elon was like, you can only cut your budget so much. And with inflation is a very real.
Yeah, but he doesn't work.
Yeah, he's just I don't know.
You've seen those videos, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I work harder than you.
Yeah, I don't know. So that, I mean, that's, you're not going to get a lot of sympathy from me. You're not going to get a lot of sympathy from me. So we're going to move on to the next one. I'm going to punt this one to Jerry. You had a whole sonnet in our text messages. I don't know if you want to. I'll read this and you can pull this up with your notes. But I think it'll come to memory when you see it. So we have. I got it right here. All right. My father passed away this year. His house is on the water in a desirable area. In comparison, rentals go to $2,000 to $4,000 weekly. The home was estimated at around $1 million, and I'm 1/3 owner. My siblings have no desire to rent it out. What is the best solution to buy them out without spending any of my cash? Without the rental income, my wife and I make around $12,000 a month. She has part share in a rental income. The USIV. Help me with that. What's USIV?
Help me out.
Is worth $1,500, and I own a bit. The USIV, Jordan's pulling it up.
Yeah.
The rental income, the USIV is worth 1.5. I don't know if it's. She said one anyway. 500,000. I don't know if that's 1.5 million.
Yeah,
we went to rent it out for a couple years and retire there. So, all right, what you have is two siblings that don't agree on a home.
So it depends on how
Jerry.
All right. So I'm all about keep it simple, stupid, because there's no reason to worry about the rental portion of it if I can't buy out my two siblings.
Yep.
So if I own 1/3, I have to figure out how am I holding title? So there's different ways to hold title. I can either hold title where we own 100% together. We just own 1/3, and there's nothing that we can do without the other 2/3. We all have to be in agreement every time, right?
Does this, how, I'm curious.
It doesn't say.
Yeah, well, because it says my father passed. So how does it, I mean, wouldn't this depend on what his will? I guess his will was that they all three got it. But
well,
he didn't
the
say.
will should have stipulated how you're going to hold title. I'm giving, like I'll separate myself. So if you two are my siblings,
Yeah.
and I say I want to give you my house,
Yeah.
well, the way, I guess I'll just use my house. So my house is Ladybird deeded over to my two, right? Jordan and Josh. Jordan can't do anything without Josh. Josh can't do anything without Jordan. If Jordan wants to buy out Josh,
Yeah.
then he has to buy her out,
Yeah.
refinance, or give Josh, the cash.
Sure.
Same, vice versa. If they can't agree, then the court would say, then you're going to have to sell the property. So then they would have to sell it if neither one can agree. If one wants to sell
on a
it,
price?
well, then it's going to be the court mandated. I mean, just like you would like any others. I mean,
So if they can't agree on a price?
So are you saying if one of them want to buy each other out?
Well, like if they, you're saying,
If
they
Jordan
can't
wanted
agree
to
who
buy 'em
takes
out.
it. You're saying they can't agree who
Yeah.
takes it. I see.
So I'll just say Josh. If Josh says, I want out, I want out, I just want my money,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Jordan's
yeah.
like, no, I want to keep it, then Josh would go to court and say, I want my half. The court would force Jordan to sell or buy him out, and if Jordan can't afford to buy him out, then the court would mandate a sale, force the sale, And of course, at fair market value, they're going to probably hire. I mean, just like a divorce, like I did with past clients. I tell the court what I think the value is. It doesn't matter what party A or party B states or what they want. It's what fair market value is.
Sure.
And I put it up for that. And then I come back to the court and say, here's our offers. Or we didn't get any offers. We need to reduce the price. We reduce the price accordingly until the property sells. And then they each get their 50%, if that's how the will stipulates.
Okay. Well, that's
So in this situation, he needs to figure out who has authority and how's title being held. Now, here's a kicker. If it is held where each party owns 1/3 of the home and they can each sell their 1/3, he could, in theory, sell his 1/3 interest to anybody in God's green earth.
Oh my gosh.
And now
Yeah,
that
most people don't do that way.
no, you.
So it's
I don't
a
want.
deed.
Yeah. You own 1/3 of the house.
Oh man.
And
So you would be able to
the other
go in,
2/3
squat,
have
do
no-
whatever. That
yeah.
is your house, just like it is the other 2/3. So in order for me, and I'm not saying I would never do it, because for the right dollar amount, I'll do it. Right? I was offered that, where it was almost the same situation. It was a house where there were two parties. One wanted to sell it, one didn't. The one wanted me to buy them out because they just wanted out. Well, in order for me to do it financially, it's got to be a great deal, because
sure.
this is going to be a long-term investment, because and it's going to be an expensive investment if I try to kick them out. So I was going to look at it as, I'll just let him live in it for the next 10 years. I don't care. And then, buy him out when he needs to go to a senior citizen home because it was an older gentleman or whatever. But in the long run, I'm just like, that's too much fight. And I'm not into it that much. I don't. But legally, I could buy their half.
That's a train wreck.
It is a train wreck.
That's a. Oh my gosh. We don't have enough information on this situation, right? It sounds like her siblings are pretty.
They're screwed.
And the siblings are pretty unethical. I mean, like a lot of people are saying use your 1/3 equity to buy the other two out, but they don't. I don't think they want to be. They don't want to get bought out, so they're going to have to sell it.
Yeah.
They're saying use their equity as a DSCR.
Yeah, DSCR.
DSCR. This would be a question for Joe, probably. Like DSCR is, what's that stand for?
I don't remember what it's saying. It's a way to use more of like the rental income as a way to qualify for the. It's just so you'll need like 20-25% down. I mean, there's loans out there where if you can rent the house out, you can get the loan based on the rental income. I think.
Yeah. That's all it is.
Debt service coverage ratio. Okay, yeah, because you're right. I have seen it more in investments, like rentals. Yeah, okay. So,
but
interesting.
If they want to me, I don't understand. If there's three parties, two want to sell, one wants to keep it. If you can refinance the house because the house is completely paid off, pay those two off. Well, who cares? Who cares if I keep ownership and give you the exact same dollar amount, or if I sell to Joe Blow and give you the exact same dollar amount? That's where I don't understand in the siblings part. Why would they just want to sell over if I'm giving you the exact same dollar amount to buy you out? But that's just my.
I think that I think that it sounds like people get weird upon death, dude. Upon like with estates and things. Like my dad has made me. A few years back, he made me the executor of his will, and like a couple of my they were upset, dude. And I'm like, I didn't have anything to do with this, and it's not like I get any more. It's not like you're the executor, and
you just get the headache.
I just get the burden, right? Like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, So that's it. But people get really. I think a lot of their true colors come out with stuff like that, especially real estate. I mean, it's $1 million property. That's $350,000 for each of them, right? So, I don't know, man. I mean, that's a tricky business. That's the importance of a trust. Will for sure. Trust. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily going to help the situation, but a very clear will, is gonna, would dictate that.
In personally, I mean, just from experience, making sure that you deal with a reputable attorney.
Yeah.
Because I've even seen some train wrecks, for better lack of. I mean, it was half but done, And so it just opens you up for even more, I don't want to say litigation, but a longer.
It was ambiguous. Like
The language it was.
ambiguous.
It wasn't legally binding in some ways because of the way it was worded, which causes more heartache now because the other party, the one that wants to sell or doesn't want to sell, and then they're trying to find legal loopholes, and there are some, and it can just get really bad.
Yeah. I mean, lawyers seem expensive until
that's the one.
Until you hire the cheap one, then they're really expensive. Then they're really expensive. So, all right. Well, we're gonna move on to this next one here. Let's see what we got. Parents. Let's screen share. Get this rocking. So parents want me to buy a house instead of moving out in 25. Have you ever felt? Can I ask a personal question to you, Jordan? Since we have a father-son combo.
Yes, he's single.
I see.
I don't think I have a choice in the matter.
Well, you don't have to answer. I see a lot of this on like my parents want me to do this. There's pressure, to do. Did you get a lot of pressure from?
Oh yeah, we've talked about
from
this.
your folks to make it like to be like you need to be buying a house and doing whatever.
I don't want to say about necessarily buying a house, but I mean, there's been other things.
You're not your romantic life, not
No.
your love life, but I'm just saying sorry, I got this. I'm screen sharing and that covered your face. I'm just saying like in regards to like I know back when you did the Bible study at your house, like Sherry loved when both boys were at home. Like she was in no hurry for you guys to move out at all.
Yeah.
And my sentiment right now, it's subject to change, right?
Depends on the day.
Dude, that's one thing I learned is like, I had such firm statements about parenthood until I had kids. Like my kids will never, they're going to have set screen times and like just the dumbest stuff you've ever heard.
You got to pick your battles.
Dumbest stuff you've ever heard in your life. Like you're like, yeah, clearly that guy's got no kids. Right now though, I don't have any issue with kids staying around. I'm very pro, multi-generational living, assuming that they're supportive and contributing, like obviously
contributing is a huge
like
part.
the boys are, right? But you haven't felt any pressure from like
No, not in
Jerry
the
and
moving
them?
out part.
No, okay, probably because it's good to have her. They can go out of town and you
When they need to
they
leave
got free landlord
When they need to leave for their 3-week cruises, they're like, "Oh yeah, we don't have to worry about a house sitter, someone to worry about cleaning, dog sit." No.
To me, if in everything, I mean, every situation is different. First and foremost, right? Does it make sense for both parties? I mean, but go back to the 2-bedroom condo, right? If you've got 3-4 people living in there, it doesn't make sense now. It's time to go.
Yeah,
the house isn't big enough. The condo's not big enough. But in our instance, and I've seen instances, like you said, where multi-generational people are living in the same home, but there's room.
Yeah, sure.
Our house can accommodate where sometimes I don't have to see Jordan if I don't want to. Honestly, right?
Yeah.
We try not to, and I guess he could attest more to this. We try not to dictate when or where. I mean, dude, you do you. I don't care. We communicate. That's a huge difference between saying you have to do this and hey, what are you doing? Just so we can communicate on who's doing what for the day. Because we do have animals, who's going to be home for them, who needs to let them out, feed them, do whatever, so on and so forth.
Sure.
And wintertime, shoveling stuff and cleaning stuff, and all that has to be divvied up. And again, it comes back to, are you contributing? And as long as you're contributing and you're doing your fair share, whatever. To me, be wise with your money, and as long as you're being wise with your money and you're saving it for a future when you can buy a house, when you are getting married, whatever. That's what I think family is all about. Because, I mean, for those that know me, I always refer back to the Bible, right? What's the Bible say? Nowhere in the Bible does it say that at the age of 18, you are no longer the parent.
Yeah.
Nowhere does it say that.
Right.
I'll always be your parent.
Yeah.
The role changes as you get older.
Sure.
The role changes when you get married. But nowhere does it say I just stop being a dad.
Right.
So as long as I can help them in any way, shape, or form, I think that's what parenting's all about. Now that we totally got off real estate,
I think I just see a lot of these, man. I see a lot of these like these topics like this pressure from their parents to do things, and I think it's well intentioned, right? So this guy's a 25-year-old male RN. I make a little over I remember your response to this one now. I make a little over 40 an hour and have 30K saved. I have student loans that are $12,000, and besides that, nothing. I really want to move out. I moved out briefly when I was in a relationship, but that ended, so I'm back home. I have never lived alone. I live in Detroit and really want my own place. They want me to buy either a commercial or residential property before moving out so I can have some extra income. I'm so sick of like the passive income lie of real estate.
Dude, it's
so not passive.
No.
Yeah,
like talk to
because
anybody.
you've never owned one.
Like someone who has that would be the equivalent of saying start a business so you can have passive income. Sure, there's guys who are on the back end of 30 years of blood, sweat,
just
and
gonna
tears.
say, yeah, after 30 years.
Yeah, there are guys who are like they're not having to work as hard, but they oh my gosh. Anyway, so
if you think you're going to buy a rental and have passive income, you're going to need to have probably
10 plus, easy.
I was going to say 20 to 30 to really make it worth your while.
Yeah. Units.
Units,
for the
doors,
record, yeah.
doors. You know, is what I'm saying. So,
So they want me to passive income. Property in Detroit can actually be really cheap.
For a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't doubt that I can afford it, but I'm not sure I'm ready for that commitment. There are a lot of cheap houses here, but it requires a lot of work to build up, no doubt. Like lots of time and money. I want my chance to actually live alone, but I understand I don't want to just waste money. I want to make some sort of investment now. This is not a Dave Ramsey.
wait.
This
You
not-
want to make some sort of investment now? What about the last three freaking
boy.
years of you
Here
making
we go.
$30, $40 an hour at 2,000 hours a year? You're making 80 grand after taxes, 60 grand, no overtime, no freaking bills, and you got 30 grand saved up.
It's appropriate that this is a Dave Ramsey Reddit because he turned into Dave Ramsey real quick on it. Yeah, I mean, well, okay.
And he
okay.
did live with somebody because that's the thing that
80 grand. What are you netting after 80 grand a year?
I said 60. I think that's a fair dollar amount.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so 60. What's your cost of living to live alone? I have
Alone?
No,
Well, I don't know.
Well, he
idea.
lives with a
Not
partner.
with your
Yeah,
parents. Yeah,
because he was
doesn't even
living in
he doesn't-
sin,
he doesn't
so I
even-
don't know.
He doesn't even have rent.
Well, right now, but remember he did live with somebody for a year, and that's the hard part because if he's an RN, when did he actually start working as an RN?
That's what.
I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
he
that's
said he'd
what
been
I-
home
So,
a-
so
I thought
he
he'd
could
been home
he
a
could have
year.
been so
because if it took him 4 years, he took a break. Maybe it took him 5. I mean, he's 21, 22, so he's been doing it for 3-4 years. He did live out
But
for a year or two,
If anybody knows what RNs are making,
but I mean, I'm sure when he first started off, he wasn't making the same $40 an
he's
hour.
making 40. Yeah, that's
he's
true.
making.
That's true. I mean, that's true. I mean, an RN, like, right, if you go into, I think Amanda would, like, opening, I mean, it's so dated now. It's like 22, 23, but now it's more. Like, that was 10 years ago, back when she.
They probably are making. I mean,
I would say 30. A
Yeah.
threshold, an opening position for an RN would be 30.
Did he say how long he'd been an RN?
He doesn't say. He says, edit. Most people are telling me I should pay off my student loans first. I pay roughly $200 a month on them. I can contribute $100 and have them paid off with the year. So maybe I will do that. I think about incurring more debt. Yeah.
Depending on the interest rate.
Yeah. In the past 2 years, I've been paying on a loan. It's only gone up. Yeah.
yeah, pay off, and I think that's
Yeah.
what
I've given $4,500 to it all. So you paid a third of the loan balance, and the balance has gone up.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, that's how high the interest
In
rates
the
are.
past 2 years, I've been paying on the loan. So he's been paying $200 a month.
It's because he's paying the minimum payment.
$12,000. So, dude, it's probably got to be 20%. If the balance has gone up, he's paid $2,000
See,
a
so
year.
again, okay, so
Like,
see,
that's-
here we go again.
But that's-
stupidity.
Well,
You're
yeah.
making money and you're not paying off your loan. Why wouldn't you put every cent that you can humanly make just
he's
towards
getting
a
taxed. He's getting taxed. I mean, he paid $2,400 a month. He paid $2,400 a year, and the balance still went up. And the balance is only $12,000. So like he's paying over 20% juice
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah,
I don't know how you
Right,
can do
right?
that on a student loan. I didn't know that they
Student
could go
loans
that.
are around 8 right
Yeah,
now.
that's but
I wonder if he
I've
did
never had
some
one, so I don't know.
debt consolidation.
I would no.
I mean, they're high, but they're not that
I wonder
high.
if he did some debt consolidation.
For everybody out there, if you have a loan,
Paid off.
look at your highest interest rate loan. I don't care if it's $50 or $50,000, and you hit that one first.
Yeah.
Pay off the highest interest rate loan first, and then work your way down.
Yeah,
And then don't get yourself into debt if you can't afford to pay it off at the end of the month.
Yeah, 40 an hour, I would have been left, bruh. That's what Agile Ability 4842 said. Yeah, those are not my words, for the record. Yeah. Pay the loans. You're 25. You realize that you're a grown man, right? It doesn't matter what your parents want. I want to speak to that real quick. I disagree. I disagree, right? Honor your father and mother so that the days may belong. Like just because I'm 36, right? Now, my parents, I'm careful to ask my father's advice. And here's why. Mm-hmm. Because if I disagree with his advice, I'll careful what I ask his advice on. Like about car mechanics, great. But if I disagree with his advice, he gets upset if I don't take it word for word. And sometimes he just doesn't like he told me opening Metro. It was effectively the dumbest thing ever. He's like, there's no way, just like he effectively shot it down. Right. So, hey, what are we talking about? Are we talking about real estate now? What's going on? So he was just saying that the concept of a gym was a bad idea. And, dang. And so let's go back. Let's pick on Jordan. Let's find Jordan. Let's go find Jordan Bryan. Let's change the subject off of me. 25 is the right now age. My suggestion. Yeah, dude, I don't know, dog. I am curious where his money's going. Because I'm thinking about if I'm pulling in $5,000 a month and I live with my folks.
Dude, you own
what am I spending my money on?
You only owe $12,000. You should have that paid off in 3-4 months.
Yeah, paid off for 3 or 4 months. What am I spending my money on? For my budget, for the record, I have $150 of fun money every month. That's I can spend it on, doesn't matter if David squanders this on
whatever
gummy bears, right? It doesn't.
Sherry and I have the same thing. Yeah. Mine's. I'll be out open. Mine was $300.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want with.
Yeah.
That must not include his going out to eat.
Not 5,000.
Well, no.
Not 5,000.
Yeah. Going out to eat's completely different.
Yeah.
Mind you.
Yeah.
But again, it's because that's something Sherry and I do together. And
our date night's $300 a month. Though. Yeah, that's what our date.
That's cute. That'll last him a week.
Who? Yeah. Oh, you guys.
No,
we do it weekly though.
No. I'm saying $300 going out to eat would probably last them a week.
No,
bro. Their kids are out of the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Their kids are out of the house.
I said $300 a week.
No, because we typically go out three times. So maybe.
Yeah. Bro, you can't get Qdoba. Go get Qdoba. It's $60 for. Well, that's a bit. $50 for 2 people for sure.
Yeah.
But they got no kid. They got no kids, bro. The cost of children is substantial. It's substantial.
We have no bills anymore.
Yeah.
I have
everything's paid. Yeah, you're on the back. Leave them alone. They're on the back end.
Oh no, I'm just laughing because
I know.
He said he spends $300 a month.
Well, my 300, but the 300.
How much was that car you just bought?
Okay, do you want me to justify it?
No. I'm just laughing because you said $300 a month.
But I didn't have toys.
Yet you've bought how many car parts for the Corvette since you
all totaled less than $1,000.
Yeah, which you've owned the car less than 3 months. So there you go. Your $300 spending limit has been exceeded. That's just Corvette. Anyways, we're going way off topic.
So yeah, I am curious where he's spending his money on. I live in Detroit. You can buy property that is
you can buy a whole block.
Worthless. Literally, it's a negative value. Yeah. I'm not even going to use the word asset. It's a liability. It's a liability, right?
Because Detroit will give you houses.
Yeah.
Just call the Detroit Land Bank.
Yep.
They'll give you a house.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's $1, but it's an imaginary dollar, so you're not even paying $1.
Yep.
And then you own it. But guess what? Now you're paying taxes on it.
Yep.
And now you're paying taxes on something that's worthless. And if you try to fix it up, that's awesome because it's probably going to have the copper stolen out of it. The wiring's going to get stolen out of it. The heating, cooling gets stolen out of it. Been there, done that. So you can't say, oh, that doesn't happen. Been there, done that on a personal level.
It happens, yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, our advice, not that you were asking for it, you were asking Reddit, pay off the note and, I guess
Pay it
budget, dude. Learn to budget. Like, this is in the Dave Ramsey Reddit. So learn to budget, take Financial Peace University. I think that'd be a good start, and go from there. So, all right. Next one. Is it ever worth being house poor?
No.
Let's see.
Unless you've got a variable income.
All right. Is it ever worth being house poor? To be clear, we're talking about purchasing as soon as you can afford the cheapest house in your area, rather than waiting more years to be able to afford it comfortably, as opposed to choosing a more expensive house despite cheaper ones being available. I feel like on this subject, when the topic comes up, the answer is always, I chose to buy a cheaper house than I could have afforded, and my family thought I was crazy for that, which, at least for my local population, isn't possible. Cheap condos are $250 with high HOA. Cheapest you can get with no HOA is $350 with damage or $400K. Condos, dude.
Get out of Florida or California.
Yeah, I would.
It sounds like a Florida market.
I'm not doing like condos, man. I'm not doing that. All right. Do you understand the question? This is poorly.
Well, that's where
written.
that's where I was kind of
This is
confused
poorly written
because
a
you're
little
not. I mean, I guess you would be house poor if
She's
you're.
saying her family looked at her crazy for buying within her budget. She said, I chose to buy, whenever this topic comes up, the answer is I chose to buy a cheaper house than I could have afforded, and my family thought I was crazy.
Yeah, that sounds like what I normally recommend. If your pre-approval's 200,
Yeah.
hey, you might want to look around
That's
150.
that's the legal amount that they're allowed to lend you.
Yeah.
I always recommend to my clients, if they're looking at a certain price range and in two separate areas, I always recommend buying the least expensive house in the nicer area than the most expensive house in a less desirable area. I don't want the nicest house on the block a majority of the time, because your resale value is going to be more difficult.
Yep.
And when you buy the least expensive house in that area, it's going to be a lot easier for you to recoup your money and even make more money. That's my 2 cents on that. I think resale value just makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. It looks.
And in her situation, I mean, she's still buying within her budget. I don't understand what the real problem is here.
Yeah, I don't see the issue. Is it ever? I mean, to the question, is it ever worth it to be house poor? As someone who's been house poor, it wasn't fun.
Vast majority of the time, no.
I don't agree. Like, it's not fun.
The only way, like I said, that some people I know, and I don't want to say but like, I don't want to say it's a good idea, but it's a somewhat better idea is, you're making $20 an hour right now, but with your position or whatever, you're graduating from college next year and you're going to get a better
super
job.
temporary.
Doctors.
If
I think
it's
doctors
if it's
are
super
like
temporary.
Right, because when you're an intern doctor, you're just getting out of college, you're only making 60, 80 grand a year,
People don't realize how little money doctors make for so long.
Oh,
like
they're abused.
and the
For the
debt,
hours
and
they
the
put in?
debt date, it's almost
the
it's
debt.
almost irresponsible.
It is.
It's almost irresponsible how much they have doctors.
Well,
work.
I have a personal
Like,
friend who is a doctor. She is 2-3 years away from retiring, and she just paid off her last school note loan 2 months ago.
What?
I know people in their 60s that are still paying on it because they're like, it doesn't matter. I'm paying the minimum. I'm never gonna pay this thing off. I'm just gonna die with it.
How can that be? I mean, because they're making that. I guess it depends. Are they making 200 or 300?
Oh, he was
a year.
I don't know about the person he's talking about. I know the person I'm talking about. He was a dean of a or not. Was he a dean?
What was he? What was the salary? What was he pulling in? Oh, we gotta hang on. I'll switch it. I'll switch.
He was
it
a
to
he was
me.
a dean, wasn't he?
He was a dean of his college.
Yeah, he was a
well,
dean.
he was the dean of marketing or dean.
So what was he making?
I mean, he was making good money because that wasn't even his only job. He was a dean. He worked at the airport,
What
he was
like 400, 500, 600, 700? Like,
I mean, he was probably making 200, 300.
Okay, see that.
But I don't know the
his
interest rate.
His loans. What are the interest rate on his loans?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was a choice, right? Like I'll use my house loan as an example.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not paying it off. I could go write the check today and pay it off, but I'm not going to. I'm going to make the minimum payment on that because my interest rate is so low. It doesn't make sense. So some school loans are below 5%. They're at 4, 3, 2, or there's no interest, whatever. And I don't know the situation. But if my interest rate below 5%, I'm not paying it off anytime soon because I can take my money, go put it in the bank, and even earn, I won't say the bank, I can go buy stocks and bonds and make more than 5% on my money. So then it doesn't make any sense to pay off those loans. And I don't know if that was her reasoning. I don't know what her interest rate was. I didn't get personal with her on why wouldn't you?
Well, because I mean, all right, so I'm using hillbilly math, right? If they're making $200 a year, they're netting probably $1.40.
I was gonna say $1.50. So
yeah,
sure.
Okay, so they're netting $1.40, $1.50, and if their loans were $300,000 and they're paying say 10%, right? And 10% rates, all right, maybe not, I don't know, but they're paying, easy math, call it $30,000 a year just in interest. $30,000 a year just in interest. So now your 150 is really 120. It's $10,000 a month. Yeah, I don't know if there's any like other ongoing costs with being a doctor and things. I mean, yeah, it seems like they should be able to pay it off faster than 30 years.
I would think, except for his case.
I would think. I don't know.
He was even like, I don't care. I know I'm never going to pay it off. But what are you going to do? I'm dead. I'm paying my minimums. I'm not even meeting the interest. He goes, I don't care. I'm 60-some years old. What are you going to do? I'm going to die.
But in that Jordan situation, he was an older guy who just got his doctorates.
He was like 50.
Oh, no, he's probably older than that.
Yeah, I don't know.
He might have been in his mid to late 50s when he got
his doctorate.
When he got his doctorate.
That's pretty late.
I don't know.
But he wasn't a doctor of medicine. He was a doctor. I think he had his doctorates in business or something
like that.
Yeah, I mean, basket weaving.
Doctorate. Yeah.
He was making good money, though.
It's like a company that does huge sales and shows a net loss every year. Like that's not super impressive. It's not ultra impressive. To.
That's why that's why I say real estate as a career makes a lot more sense to it should make a lot of sense to a lot of people. You incur zero college debt.
Yeah. And
the sky's the limit on the income. Now you do have to be,
Dude, as a new agent though. I admittedly I got in at a bad time, but the ramp up period
is about 5 years.
Is extensive.
But here's the thing, Dave.
Extensive.
It is. But here's what I tell people: you went to college, right, to be that doctor. How many years of college?
12.
Okay. How much money did you make during that 12 years?
You spent $300,000.
Thank you. So you're not $300,000 in debt, and you were able to earn income, though. Yeah. Small amounts.
Sure.
I always tell agents, really, if you're going to do this as a career, look at your first 5 years as an education, because you're not going to be breaking the bank, and running home with tons of cash.
That's true. You told me that.
That's your learning period. It takes time to learn how. I mean, even after college, then doctors still have their internship to get the real world.
Yeah.
Right. So look at it as an internship of 4 or 5 years, but you're not spending money on college. You're just spending money because you're not doing any business.
And dues.
Right. And dues. So, but at the end of the day, listen, I've got agents that have made almost $500,000 doing real estate.
Yes, but they are.
And that's what they made.
And they are. I know the one you're talking. They're
a hustler.
He would accept. He's a top performer, whatever industry you go into. He would be a top. He would,
and that's why
he would be a top performer.
And he and I have had these conversations.
Sold ketchup popsicle to a lady in white gloves. He would be a top performer at that.
But that's what it takes, right? And he and I have had these conversations. What does it take to be a top producer? And it's not a degree.
Yeah.
It's not. You're built differently.
Yeah.
You don't take no for an answer.
Well, you truly treat it just like someone who start your own business. It's all you talk about to everyone you talk about.
It's an opportunity
all the time. And
everybody is an opportunity.
Yeah.
You look at everybody as I could sell them a house.
Yeah.
And if you say no, that's okay because the next guy might. And if I do that 100 times, even if I have a 1% success rate,
Sure. Yeah.
and I do that all week long, talk to 100 different people all week long, and I sell one house a week. If you sell one house a week,
Yeah.
do you know how much money you're going to make?
Yeah, you're doing well.
10 million. You're going to make $300,000.
Yeah. I mean, that's 50 houses a week, though. 52 houses a year is.
Oh, you're
It's a lot.
You're dope.
It's a lot.
You're a
That's-
top producing
it's a
agent,
lot.
like top 1%, because most agents are lazy.
Yeah.
Most agents will tell you they're lazy.
Yeah. They, it is, and compared to doctor, like medical never made a huge amount of, I think the motive should never be money to get into medical, in my opinion, right? Like, cause it doesn't, to your point,
Yeah.
that's 12 years of effort
I don't know what their dropout rate
to end
is.
up in dead, dog.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what their dropout rate is. That'd be an interesting.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea. But is it ever worth it to be house poor? I don't think so.
Unless you know.
I've been there.
And that's how we got on the doctor topic.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a doctor and you know that you're going to be making quadruple your income in 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then there's even loans out there built specifically for doctors. You would buy down the loan. And the loan,
Variable rate.
Yep. So instead of it being well, here's the thing, right? What the banks would do, interest rates are at 6%. Right
Yeah.
now, they're going to give it to you at 2%.
Yeah,
But they're going to charge you an extra, and I'm going to just go throw numbers out there because it's all percentage basis. But
Yep.
they're going to charge you another 20 grand for that rate. But they just bought you down the house that you want today.
Yeah.
Because in 4 or 5 years, what the house value going to be? I guarantee
20%
you.
higher at least.
Yeah, 90% of the time it's going to be higher, right? So get into the house today. You're going to be eating ramen noodles,
Yeah.
macaroni and cheese on a good day
Sure.
for the next year. But your income goes up, and then the interest rate goes up by 1% or 1%. And then after 5 years, you hit your 8%. Everybody's happy, and you're making good money.
Well, here's what I will say is not to dissect the language here. Worth it is it ever worth it?
Maybe.
Well, maybe house poor. If I'm single and childless, and you don't really like people,
Here's
I mean,
another-
maybe, dog. Like, I mean, I'll just come home and watch like freaking Marvel movie and just stay in my house because I don't need to go out,
Yeah.
right? But when
I
you
mean-
got wife and kids and like they don't want to be in the house usually because, especially I'll speak to my scenario. Amanda is stay-at-home mom, right? So she's like, I need to get freaking out of here, right? Like so, but be like, babe, we can't because we have no money to do so. Well, that sucks, right? But for me, I'm like, well, I'm gonna stay here because I've been out all most of the day. Like so, like house poor is like I've been out working to pay for this. Like I'll just stay home.
I think another example is if your market is depressed, right? If it's that '07 market and houses just went from, and I'm using numbers, 100,000 down to 50, you know what? If I can get into that house now at 50, I know the rate, I know the house market is going to return. I know I'm going to be making more money. So I'm going to live house poor now, and I might live house poor for the next 5 years until that house goes back up in value, and then sell it, take my money that I've earned on it, and go put it down on another house, and maybe be a little bit more comfortable in my payment.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, you gotta think outside the box and to make money. And some people, like I said, you're just either built or you're not built for
I
it.
think what I will say is I think especially when it comes to real estate is the amount of fear that drives the decision for most people is like I'm gonna wait for rates. No, wait, but there's a coming war. No, wait, but we're I'm gonna wait for a different president, or I'm gonna like
Fear's normal,
dude
on every transaction.
Like just I don't know. You
I mean,
either
I've-
want it or you don't.
I've been doing it for.
I can't want it more than you. That's why I tell people as an agent, like I don't. Doesn't matter to me if you buy a house. Like I don't care. I'm not living in it. Like so, I can't want this more than you do. And so if I'm like clearing a schedule to go and work things, and I'm trying to get you approved, and you're like, oh, I don't know, like you can't get me a document in 3 hours or 3 days or 3 weeks, like you kind of deserve to be a renter, respectfully. So.
Yeah.
All right, moving right along to all right. We got one more before our friend Mr. Taylor hops on. So yeah,
I wish you could hop on.
dude, I plan on tagging him. I plan on tag. He's not going to respond. I think we might lose this house because of 4K and plumbing repairs. TLDR. I gotta get hip to the acronym. You need the acronym. I feel like Reddit should come with a glossary. TL.
So the last one was meaningless, just so you know.
Yeah, okay.
I looked that up.
ULIV.
Yeah,
okay.
nothing.
All right. First time buyers in North Carolina. Bank.
Too long didn't read. That's what TL stands for. TLDR stands.
Say that again, then.
I'm sorry.
TL.
Too
long didn't read. That's what TLDR stands for.
Say that.
I mean,
use it again.
I think we might lose this house because of 4K and plumbing repairs. Too long didn't TLDR.
It's used to introduce a concise summary of a lengthy text.
Oh my gosh!
I have no idea. I'm just looking it up for you, man.
I'm gonna guess this guy.
That's why it's on Reddit.
This guy's name is Zebulon420. So he's high as a kite as he's writing this. Okay, cool, fantastic. She's high as a kite. Well, who knows? First time home buyers in North Carolina. Bank required plumbing repairs 1 week before. Oh, I remember this.
Yeah.
1 week. 1 week before closing. Won't allow repair escrow. Sellers won't allow us to pay for repairs pre-closing. Now we have to switch lenders and delay closing, looking for advice. My husband and I, first-time home buyers in North Carolina, purchase price is $388 with $5K due diligence paid back. $5K
concessions.
$5K due diligence.
Just concessions
paid.
Sure.
My guess is concessions.
We locked a great rate and $10K forgivable loan for Citizens Bank. We were scheduled to close on December 30th. On the 23rd, the bank suddenly required plumbing repairs to be completed before closing. There are 2 known links, kitchen and basement. We had a licensed plumber document the house is habitable and already had a 4K quote and 2K seller credit concessions to fix everything immediately after closing. It's a 75-year-old house. This didn't seem unusual. First Citizens won't allow repair escrows. We offered to pay for the repairs ourselves, but the sellers refused to allow the work due to risk, which is understandable. Because of this, our original loan is no longer an option. We're now switching to an alternative lender, yada, yada. I'm also starting to lose, within the 7-day grace period, it's been incredibly stressful. I'm also starting to lose confidence in our realtor. Has anyone dealt with something like this? Any advice on navigating? How does the bank?
Yeah, that's the problem is they sent the report into the bank. You never do that.
Stupid. All right.
That's something that we always say. Don't turn in the private home inspection report to the bank.
Yep.
If you want any repairs done, they go on a separate addendum that also doesn't go to the bank. Because if you say you want the roof repaired because it's got a leak in it,
Yep.
now the mortgage company knows the roof is bad and they don't want to, they want it fixed before.
Well, and they have to, right? I'm gonna take
depending on what the issue is.
Yeah.
The mortgage company.
So that is a
One I would ask, and they're not here. Who chose the bank? Did you come to me already pre-approved through this bank, or did I recommend this bank? Because I can guarantee you, I don't recommend my clients to a bank that's going to require repairs prior to moving in, unless it's FHA or VA. My banks don't care. My lender doesn't care if you got flooring. As long as the value is there in the condition that it's in, that's all they care about. So they don't care about repairs. As long as it's habitable.
I had one conventional. It was literally cement floors, and we painted over them just to make a pass.
Yeah, I'm looking at the comments. It says if the seller played ball, I'd be willing to. I kind of understand the seller's standpoint though. Like you've got some other guy. So we've had it before. We had a closing. Where was the one in Groseal? There was, I think it was some repairs, and the seller, she's like.
There's ways around it.
Yeah, I mean
there's more than one way to skin the cat.
You could get seller repairs that you get concessions.
I don't understand why they don't just remove the concessions and have the seller pay for it then. If the seller doesn't want the buyer to pay for it and have his contractors come in, then the seller can pay for it. We'll remove the concessions. We'll have a licensed contractor come in.
They would net the same. Yeah.
And you're going to net the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is.
Or I would just tell my buyers, give a $5,000 non-refundable. Or $4,000 in this case, sorry. $4,000 non-refundable. Deposit, escrow. Mm-hmm. If you don't close it, you lose it. But the repairs get done. Then at the closing table, these sellers get their $4,000 that they spent to get the electrical replaced or done. And then it's all done.
How does your bank, our realtor sent them the quote as we got a $2,000 credit.
So that's what happened. Is the realtor sent them the quote when he should.
Why would they need the quote? Why do they even need it? Like that's
and that's what goes back to you put on the addendum. You get $2,000 in concessions. Period. They don't. The bank does not need to know that
Why?
the $2,000 concessions is to fix the leaky basement.
Yeah.
It's
They
you've got $2,000 in concessions. We all know what it's for. No need to say anything else.
Once an underwriter sees, they can't unsee. You can't just like, oh, well, we'll change the wording now, right? You're too late. You've already let the cat out of the bag. The only thing that we send over to the mortgage companies is the purchase agreement.
Yeah. Yeah.
or any addendums that talk about price changes like that. But
better.
You make sure that they're worded not to make to talk about the issue of the house.
All right. Well, are you guys ready? You guys ready for our friend Richard Grandin Taylor?
I think
I've been ready.
His parents were right when they named him.
Richard. All right. So we've got. Let's just move this over here, and I'm gonna turn this so that you guys can see. I don't know if you can hear. You may need to hear this in your
Even
in
his
your
looks.
Yeah, I know. He's got the 70s porn stash going on here. So, all right. This one, let's start with this one. Okay. And I'm going to share this. I need a Jamie.
Which one is it?
I got to unmute him.
To take you to get this, because this is the
His voice kind of reminds me of you a little bit, Jordan.
Hey, now.
Just so I'm just not like a. What is? How do I?
That is a $10,000
You know how to work
deal.
Instagram? How do I make
Guys,
this guy start
The
over?
deal is you have 0% interest too.
I always just go back out and go
100%,
back in the
100%.
video,
Guys,
to be honest. Or reset, yeah.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Listed for $450, but I got him to do seller finance with 10% down.
so what's your purchase
His
price?
Purchase price is $450.
What's your down payment?
So this guy's got. He's got people sourcing deals for him and bringing them to him, and then he'll audit them live on
Yeah.
social media. So first, correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
So who's allowed to source and find and negotiate real estate
So you
transactions?
can, as a
There's a limit,
wholesaler.
though. There's a limit, though,
But
right?
the problem is it's per state. So
Every state's different.
every state's a little bit different, and I think and that's the problem is he's not necessarily
He's crossing state lines.
he's
too.
crossing state lines, but I don't know the legality of it. Like in Michigan, you're allowed 5.
Yeah.
If you do more than
Yeah,
5
yeah,
of what
yeah.
he's of that, then you're breaking the law.
Okay.
But it's not even about that. It's about everything else, which we'll get into later. Yeah.
So
Down payment is $45.
What's your rent?
Rent is $3,400.
And your payment's $1,300.
Yep.
Where is this?
Down in Houston.
I would buy
Yes.
this. I would buy this. That sounds good.
Could,
that
just
sounds
keep it.
really good.
All right. Well, I got the LOI over to him, and we'll see where it goes. Thank you.
Yeah, really good, man. That's exactly what you need to be doing. I love.
LOI, worthless. So he's got the LOI, which again that's not a binding document. And so what they're doing is he's obviously trying to source. He's trying to source properties, find out what the payments are going to be, rent it out, make a $200 or $300 a month spread, and I mean, obviously he's just flipping contracts. And this particular method, he has a few methods. One of which
Yes.
is
For those of you that don't know, an LOI is a letter of intent. It's really just me saying, "Hey, we're interested.
Here's what we're thinking. Is all it says.
Here's what we're thinking. Yeah, would you be interested?"
Yeah. So, and that is, and he's got all these people, sourcing deals for him. And let me see what.
Love everything about that deal. Great work. I want to know how many calls did it take you to get this? Because this is everybody's question. You have what would be $10,000 right now. That is a $10,000
He's paying finder's fees
Yeah.
for
deal
contract.
all day, guys. The deal of 0% interest too.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, payments are going to be $2,300 PITI. Rent is going to be $3,200. It's a duplex in Houston. Down payment is $40. You said.
So they're finding owners of these working out. It sounds like seller finance.
Well, that one he said.
Well, he's
seller
doing-
This,
yeah,
finance.
this
maybe.
one's not. 0%.
Well, it's definitely fire.
He's working seller finance then. And,
Yeah.
and that's a big thing too. Is what they will do is they will. It's big. You bring well. We'll give you. Let's say someone is over asking or whatever. Like it's high for the market. They're like, I'll give you your asking price over, 5-year balloon payment of 5-year or whatever, 0 down, and that's kind of what you're working.
45.
Okay, yeah, probably 10K deal. Down payment is $45, and you have a 7-year term of 0% interest payments, and you pay that down.
7-year term, 0% interest
by
payments.
$1,300 per month for 7 years. Yeah, definitely a $10,000 deal. And in a scenario like this, you're like, well, why would somebody pay a finder's fee for this? Let's look at the opportunity cost, guys. How much do we have to spend when we buy a $450K house? Down payment. What does the bank require? 90 grand. 90.
20% of a
True.
of a,
Grant.
s-
Yeah.
of a
True,
of,
true.
of a
Investment loan.
How much did you get it down for? 45.
45.
Already value has been provided. Already we've provided massive value to a buyer. And then let's talk about the other value that he's provided. When you go to the bank,
Well, the difference is you're paying 10 grand to a finder's fee. The bank, we at least put 20 down. Now it's going towards equity. You're paying 10 effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're getting 0%
and you
interest.
put down that 90,000, what sort of interest rate do you get? 7 to 8. And what's your interest rate? How long have you been making calls just on this for this purpose?
I'd say about week and a half, 2 weeks, maybe 2 or 3 calls a day. I got a property. I was talking to a realtor.
So it's actually for sale.
6 bed, 4 bath.
So that's actually for sale, looks like.
Yeah. No, they call on, this is what they do. They call on listings.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one.
I
That's
mean,
why
what he said and what he did in this one, there was nothing
Yeah, that
illegal
one's-
It's
or
just
bad.
wholesale. This
I
is
mean,
wholesaling.
Yeah.
Right. This is wholesaling. But you do this so many, like how many times are you allowed to sell flip a contract though? In Michigan, we're in Michigan.
5.
So you do
Per,
this
per year.
Per year.
annually, right? So you do this 5 times, even if he's middlemanning, right? So
Yeah, because then they're going to look at him as a real estate agent.
correct. Yeah. Probably worth
What
it.
I'm confused at is why is this seller doing a 0% finance over 7 years?
The only way I would do
doesn't
that,
make- like,
well,
there's so many
there-
things that don't make sense in that, and this is the other thing that I think is hilarious. Sometimes this entire thing could be fictitious, made the entire thing up.
yeah.
There's not like why would a seller give that to you for 7 years for 0% interest?
well, because it's really only worth 300,000.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
let's-
Oh, yeah.
let's
I've
assume
seen,
the
I've seen
property-
that a lot.
Yeah.
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 I've seen that a lot. Like if like
Well,
we
what
don't
I'm
we don't
saying
know
is
we
that-
don't know.
I'm going to
the
sell it
person-
to you
well,
at
no,
an
because-
inflated rate or
But here's the
inflated
thing:
price. so.
you are the investor in this duplex. You
I'm the
owe-
investor or the seller?
the seller, which is the investor. He's the current seller has it. He said he's making rent, and so he's netting $1,000 a month already. The current owner, per what he said. Now I'm gonna sell it to you just because what at 0% when the equity is still there. There's it's not like, oh, the house is worth 300, I owe 400, but I've got a 3% rate, so it's better for you to take over my rate. Like he still has a 7 to 8%, or no, sorry, that was he's selling it on a 0%.
I understand, but if
landlord is.
let's assume it's my rental,
Yep.
right? I'm making $1,000 a month on it,
Yep.
profit after everything. But it's really I'm going to use numbers. $300,000 house. I'm renting it out for $4,000. My note's $3,000, including PITI. I'm
Yep.
good. So I'm making $1,000. I pretty much I just purchased it, so my loan amount and everything is still around that $300,000. I'm going to sell it to you at no interest at $450. Why wouldn't I do that? I'm still going to make my money.
But that's not what they're saying though.
He's selling it at
Yeah.
450 seller note, 7-year balloon, 0 down, 10% down, 0% interest. They're the seller takes some risk.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean the seller takes some risk.
But I mean, there
like-
are scenarios where this
Yeah.
may work, but I'd have to run the numbers. I mean, to say yeah, but I might, because I'm going to sit on it maybe for 7 years. I might with his scenario and what he's paying me. I only may, instead of making $1,000 a month now, I only may make say $250. Okay, whatever. But I'm giving up $750 a month. Call it $10,000 a year for say 7 years. 70 grand, but I sold it for $150,000 more today. So you owe me that in the 7 years. In that scenario, I don't know if I would do it.
It depends on the expected appreciation, right? Because
Yeah.
if it's a $300,000 house and you're paying $450, that math doesn't math, right? But some people will pay if they you're paying.
So I must have missed that. Where are we getting the 300,000?
We're not.
That's a fictitious
No,
No, that's
number.
what I'm
Don't-
saying, because
Well,
if he's got it
making-
listed for 450, that's what I'm saying. Then the house, I mean, no agents some agents will, but if the house is really worth 300, why am I listing it for 450?
Yeah, they just dropped it at 60 grand. I mean, the price just got cut 65 grand, and it could be could be fake. Let's move on to this next one.
So there's other ones
Yeah, this one you're gonna like this one.
Probably not.
that I know.
Entirely. Oh shoot! Hang on, I gotta restart it. Let me get this kid back on here. Give me one more second.
But without a
I know.
license. Go to this
Oh yeah, it's this one.
wait for realtors' listings to expire, and then I do their job, but without a license. Go to this website. This is the website that tells you when their listings expire. They've got every single city in the United States. How about Detroit? It's now showing me all of the houses in Detroit that recently went off market, and I found this one right here, and this is really, really interesting. Check this out. As you can see, this guy was asking for $84,000, but he owes on his mortgage $71,500. If you go on Zillow, you can see that he only had his house for sale for 9 days before he removed the listing. That means he was getting offers probably $10 or $15 or $20,000 below his asking price. Remember, he's asking $84,000 and he owes $71,500. He was listed on market with a realtor. Realtors take 6% of the sales price when your house sells. Now, if your offers
Not true.
are coming in below your asking price and you owe really close to your asking price and you have to pay your realtor out of that guy was probably getting offers that would result in him having to stroke a $10,000 check just to sell his property. So what do? You take it off the market, you decide to hold on to the property, but subconsciously in the back of your mind, you still want to sell. You just can't. Okay, now get this. In Detroit, in the past 90 days alone, 11,104 houses have sold. People want to buy houses like the one that seller had for sale. But if you're buying a house like this for $84,000, which is their asking price, you need to come up with a $16,800 down payment and really $21,000 down payment when you factor in closing costs. So on one side of the equation, you have a person who's expecting to lose $5,000 to $10,000 on the sale of their house. On the other side, you have a person who really wants to buy that house who's expecting to put down 20 grand on the purchase of that property. Hey there, Mr. Seller. I saw your property on Buy-Box Cartel. You were going to lose money on the sale of your property 2 months ago, so you took it off the market, right? Now that your realtor's out of the picture, what if I offered you $5,000 to take over your debt on the property, given that you were expecting to lose 10 on the sale? Great. I'll go ahead and I'll send you a contract now. Hey, Mr. Real Estate Investor, you're still buying properties, right? Awesome. By the way, when you buy an $85K property, how much do you need to put down? Damn, $17,000? Okay, what if I got it to you for, I don't know, $13,000 down? I have a seller ready to go right now, actually. The seller gets this contract. It's called a purchase and sale agreement. And the buyer gets this contract. It ties them into my purchase and sale agreement. It gives them my position in the contract. Once both of those documents are signed, I use DocuSign to send them virtually to the buyer and seller. We send them to a title company, and the title company closes the deal. And that's where this comes from. The seller gets the 5, the buyer pays 13, and I get the money in between. How about a real life example? I'm a buyer for these properties. When I give you this, that means there's no way to refute it, right? Okay, 2 months ago, I paid out $11,000 in finder's fees for these 2 properties. I took over the debt on the property. A 19-year-old and a 27-year-old found me those 2 deals on their first month of trying to do. Instead of working...
My favorite thing is he's taking over these notes. First off, as we've talked about before, most loans are not assignable or assumable. Sorry, not assignable.
No loan that I know of does not have what is called a due on sale clause.
Correct.
Almost, I don't know of. I mean, I've only been doing it for 34 years, but I don't know of a single loan in your 40 pages that you signed at the closing table with the title company. There is a line on there that says due on sale. If you sell, which assigning your house is considered a sale, that means the mortgage company is due their full amount at that time. Keep it simple, stupid. See, you I won't say you already broke a law, and that's when somebody asks, is it illegal? It's not illegal. It's a personal contract, but you definitely can be held accountable, and the banks can come after you for that sale immediately, which means you have to come up with that 75 in this scenario, or $71,000.
They can call it.
Call it due and payable.
They can call it because it's due upon the sale, and this is one where he's actually selling it, right? So it's due, but selling it without notifying the bank. So you're flipping contracts,
and he's got a title company in there, which I find interesting because you can't write title. So title means I'm going to guarantee that there's no other liens against this property.
right?
So I guarantee that title company is having that potential buyer sign a document that says that you're aware that there's still a lien on this property for $71,000, and you're not going to hold us accountable for that specific lien. Which means that new buyer, if for whatever reason the loan isn't getting paid to the original mortgage company, even if they didn't call it due and payable, right? You just spent $13,000 on your down payment to this middleman, the scammer, and you are now theoretically on the hook for that 13 grand. The old mortgage never gets paid. They foreclose on it. You have no legal right to it because you signed a deed, or you signed something at the title closing stating that you are aware that there's a lien on it, and so there's nothing you can do. And then they foreclose on the property because it wasn't getting paid on, even if they didn't know about. And this is me saying they didn't know that the home was sold.
Right.
They just found out because now the payments weren't getting to the bank.
Right.
So, and that happens in land contracts. So take him out of the middleman. If you see a lot of people trying to sell a house on a land contract with still a lien or a loan on the property, I can tell you Synergy Realty Group won't close it.
Right.
We refuse to close it because there's too much risk in that potential buyer. And I've seen $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 just.
Well, stuff. I mean, things like this. I mean, the rebuttal will be like, "What's the reality that the bank finds out?" I mean, things like this work until they don't, right? So it quote unquote works.
Would you do it to your mom and dad?
No, of course not.
Absolutely
No,
not.
no,
And if
of
you
course-
would, I
of
would
course-
never hire you
of
as an
course
agent.
not.
I mean,
No,
and this is
so-
why you have scammers.
So this is, and I'm also curious, like how is it broken down to the new buyer that like, hey, there's a lien, like at title, like is
It's
it,
not.
hey, dude, listen, pay attention, right?
What's that Greek? Is it caveat emptor? I mean, isn't that what you learned early in life? Let the buyer beware.
Yeah. I
It's a Greek
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, I
It's a
don't-
legal term, right?
Okay. All right.
If you haven't
Just
heard
buyer
it,
beware.
it's let the buyer beware, and that's a legal term, and the courts say that. That is on you. You should have known as a potential buyer that there's risk.
Yeah. This next one's my personal favorite. So let's.
This guy's painful.
Yeah. Well, and I think this
Is his name Ethan?
No, Richard Grandin Taylor.
No.
You can.
You should have caught that, Dave. Come on.
You can pay to be in his Discord though. So,
I asked if his name was Ethan. Isn't that his name?
I don't know. If
No,
this
that's the
is-
guy that was on your thread. wasn't it?
No. All right, so let's see. Let's get this guy. Come. I'm gonna drag this guy. Yeah, that's cool.
But no. You signed an agreement with your seller saying that.
Yeah, this guy.
Oh, is this a
This is
stupid? Oh, I
the one
just
where he
punch him in the
reneges. This
face.
one where he reneges.
Why not?
Because the title company can't get a hold of the lender to balance numbers.
Oh, the lender told
She's
me.
been-
The lender told me he could fund tomorrow, no problem.
Well, they can fund, but they have to respond to the title company to balance numbers.
Let me give him a call.
And then I just wanted to make sure because when we did the purchase agreement, the buyer's paying closing costs and commissions.
Now, understanding that the commission.
That's all you need to know. The video,
great, yeah.
the video's over.
Yeah.
Right. The video's over. Don't.
He tries going on.
The video's over. How many times, Jerry,
Keep it
have
simple, stupid.
you been like, what's the PA say? What is the purchase agreement?
That's
say?
it.
I don't care what you thought. I don't care how you normally do deals. I don't care what you feel comfortable paying with. I don't care what you consider closing costs.
I can't
Like,
renegotiate after I sign?
Dog.
His argument, though, isn't even that. It's, well, your seller's paying it, so you're really going to collect it twice. You have no idea what that listing agent and seller agreed upon.
Yep.
They could have very well said, hey, you know what? I know this one's a little bit lower, but they're paying closing costs and commissions. So I know we talked about the 3% you were going to pay me. We don't have to worry about that anymore because they're going to pay it. We can go back and revise whatever our listing contract. And he goes on, well, your listing contract says this, so then you're going to pay it.
Do you know how many times I have had to explain to listing agents, like they, because we have my BBC says 3%, and then they're like, oh well, I'm only getting 2. I was like, that's
cool.
That's great, dog. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
You do it for free.
What does your
don't
listing
care.
agreement have to do with my BBC? Like, it doesn't have anything to
Buyer
do with
broker
it.
contract
And
for those who don't
and
know.
buyer broker contract, and if you try to tie them together, or
Sorry, he had a cough.
he had to.
I think he coughed and tried to hold it in.
Are you okay, fam? What's going on over there? What did I miss? What?
We'll talk about that later. Nothing. I know exactly what it is. But it's all good.
What's?
And it's just, he's a child, I guess. Anyways,
Well,
back on-
yeah, I didn't. Sorry. So anyway,
The 12-year-old.
this video is over. The video is over,
Yeah.
and he goes on. So all right.
From what I've told my lender, is coming out of the 58,005.
The buyer is assuming that that's not coming out of the seller's proceeds. The buyer took that on. That's why we agreed to what we agreed to, and lowered it. But when Audit took it on, it is the.
It sounds like they lowered the price too.
well, that's what I'm saying.
It sounds like they lowered the price
because they're not paying commissions.
Being reasonable, because now the buyer agreed in writing through a purchase agreement to cover closing costs, so their net is maybe a little bit higher than if they had remained.
The buyer to pay for the closing costs and commissions.
Well, what my lender's going to fund is going to be, he's going to fund 60,000.
You notice he
1,500
diverts.
of that
Yeah.
is going to go to
He didn't address what she just said because
then
what
you
she
guys
said
are
was
gonna-
100% correct.
Right.
at the 58,000, and however the 58 is split up is going
That's not how it works. That's not, no, the purchase price was 58.5, and the seller's paying the buyer's paying closing costs.
Yeah, title fees.
Yeah, closing costs and commissions.
I know that my lender's not going to be. His lending guidelines are he doesn't pay brokerages. So, essentially what's happening is we're
Well,
giving.
it'll be so it's going to be in your closing costs, and it'll be in that breakdown.
But no.
that
You
was-
signed an agreement with your seller saying that the nature.
This is
Who cares?
What
That
she
is-
signed is
Quite
irrelevant.
literally
He
states
signed
there's-
a contract stating that the commission would be paid, or his commission would be paid.
And this goes back to he has no idea what he's talking about. He's completely clueless and ignorant. And this is the other funny thing though is, and I don't know about Instagram, but when
he's
you read,
assuming too. I've heard
Yeah.
him say a couple times, "Well, realtors charge 6%." No, we
no, we don't. No, we don't.
like, and that myth is what spawned the entire NAR lawsuit to
Which
begin
was a
with.
joke.
To begin with, you know what's interesting?
Absolute
I was driving. You mentioned last week that the NAR lawsuit was perceived collusion across all realtors across the board, and you're like, but what's funny is lawyers take across the board 1/3.
1/3.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know that. Number one. Number two, I saw this one that was they're the 25% lawyers, a big billboard with 25% guys or whatever. I was like, that's interesting. Like, because I didn't know what they took. I've never been in one, right? But it's interesting that the same people. And they took a third. They took a third of the settlement.
And I would challenge anybody out there. Say, hey, I slipped and fall. I was bit by an elephant, whatever. Call an attorney and ask what do they charge. First, they're probably not going to answer you over the phone.
Right.
But when you get down to the nitty gritty, I guarantee 9 out of 10 at least are going to say 1/3. But you don't pay us unless we win.
Right. Sure.
But it's 1/3.
and they don't take you on
Plus
unless it's a
costs.
highlight. Right.
Yeah.
Let's get back to our friend here.
This guy.
seller is paying you out of their proceeds.
No,
So when you signed a listing agreement with the seller, the listing agreement said that the buyer is going to pay the commission, because that's not how real estate works in the United States. This is your.
Oh boy, if he ever.
Oh, that's my point. And the worst thing, and I don't know how it is on Instagram, but on TikTok, because I've seen this video on TikTok, you've got real estate agents agreeing with him in the comments. Oh, I can't believe that this agent doesn't know blah, 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 blah. You'd be surprised.
What he's saying
The common
is,
agent is so stupid. And I mean that with the bottom of my heart. Your average agent is stupid. Please stop going to people because they have nice flashy marketing. They did a restaurant review and their face looks all glammed up and they've got their pictures done on Facebook. That it means jack.
I wish Jordan would tell us how he's really feeling.
Sorry.
So,
It doesn't happen often, so I'm letting him go.
But here, so this, I mean, not that I care, but but you could make the case. All right, that's how real estate works. In the United States.
No.
I'm gonna throw my headphones across the table. That's not how it works. That's never how it's worked, and it's certainly not how it works since the NAR lawsuit. So to claim that the sellers pay all the commissions is ludicrous. I mean, it's ludicrous and ludicrous at best. It's almost lying in print is lie, but slanderous. Like it's almost hazardous to the reputation. So let's keep our friend going here.
Well, how does what not work in the United States?
Your commission as a realtor comes out of the purchase price. The listing agreement that you sign.
That's an
Wrong.
that's an assumption.
Wrong.
That's an assumption.
Sorry, pumpkin.
And you haven't seen the listing
Client
agreement.
states that your proceeds come out of the sales price that they get. My
No,
lender.
that's not.
Okay, well maybe the deal's dead then.
Then the deal's dead. Cool. Thanks, Richard. Appreciate your time.
That's it. Seriously.
That's it. Literally. Thanks.
And here's and I guess I think she's done a great job, and I say she, the agent on this one, because she did have the right answers. The problem I have is she got herself into the pickle in the very first place.
Yeah.
I would highly, 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 highly recommend to my client just walk away. No, this is not somebody that you want to deal with. Something's going to happen, and you're going to come back and say, why did I do that?
Right.
And this is a prime example of why did you even do it in the first place?
Well, that's a to use your language, right? Like if it goes to court, you already lost, right?
Yeah.
So what's the likelihood that this
It's not.
He's gonna go to court.
What's the likelihood that this is gonna end up in court, right?
And this one-
with any question. I mean, this one,
No,
he
I
did
don't
he
think
did a
so.
follow up video. I think they ended up coming. He's like, I won.
I'd like to know how did he win?
You signed a. I think they came to terms. There's another one here. I think they
Because I'd like to know what he ended up doing.
So
and my guess
she ended up coming up a little bit.
my guess is
his
they were
video-
so far into it, they just wanted to get it done.
That's
right.
yeah,
And it goes back.
That's what it was. Yeah,
and that's
wasn't
it.
that
You didn't
It
win,
wasn't that
dude.
he was. Well, if you ask him, he won.
Oh, dude, look at the douche picture on the left.
So
there.
I lost his.
While you're looking, there's another video he's got, and he's talking to this agent. And mind you, it's all verbal, right? Back and forth offers and
Yeah.
whatnot. And he gave this verbal offer, and the agent basically just discounted it. She's like, I'm not even, like, no. Like, or she started negotiating or something like that. And people are like, wow, doesn't she know that all offers have to be legally presented to their her client? And I just copied and pasted all my response because I only responded to the agent. So I'm
Sure.
like, okay, all of your listings right now, I'm putting in a full price cash offer. Go call all your sellers. Come on, I mean, you're gonna get a phone call of a guy saying, "Oh, I'm gonna offer you full price cash."
Good. That's good.
I'm gonna write full price cash
That's
offer,
good.
and then blah blah blah. No, if it's verbal, dude,
Verbal's not an offer.
cool.
Verbal's not an offer. And so yeah, it's going to be, and I know we were talking about this guy on the phone. Yeah. And the unfortunate reality is you need to have several victims. Like there's no victims
Yeah.
yet. You need to have several victims, and then it proves to be, one of my friend I know, they follow him, they're part of his Discord, and he's got like minors in foreign countries.
Yeah.
Sourcing and calling and reaching out and things. So it's one of those things that it sounds great. Who was your boy that made it to? Was he an agent? And he was. artificially manipulating the market.
Yeah, he got 9 years.
Yeah.
And he got out, and he's like, "That's okay. I know a better way to do it." This.
Yeah, unfortunately, and then he's a well-known guy in our neighborhood, or not neighborhood, but in the industry.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. So,
And he's on a personal level, he's a great guy. He truly, truly is. And unfortunately, that he's just a narcissist and doesn't know. I don't see. He knows. He's got to know.
it looked great until it went well until it didn't.
So
You know,
so he did it for, and this is like in this. You have this Yahoo. He's just not on the radar yet for anybody, and I say anybody, FBI most likely. And because he's looking at federal charges because it's going to be across state lines, and this is what they got. You know, and I'll call him my friend because he really was a friend of mine. But he was doing some things that he shouldn't. He was artificially manipulating markets.
Yeah.
He was taking straw buyers, manipulating the appraisal, manipulating the mortgage, manipulating everything that he could get his hands on because he owned all of it. And at the end of the day, he was pocketing hundreds, millions of dollars, and it went on for a year and a half, 2 years
Oh wow.
on a high level.
Yeah.
Before the FBI.
That's a long time at that scale.
Before the FBI finally, because he was doing, he was truly manipulating markets because he was buying in a depressed area during the crash. He was buying houses for $10,000-$20,000, and that's about what they were worth. But then he was manipulating the market, selling them for $100,000 the very next day to these straw buyers, and so he was artificially.
What's a straw buyer?
When you either
You pay
fix
a bum off the street,
Yeah, you
fix
pay a
up his
bum.
credit, and
No, you seriously, that is really
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
doing.
no, that's what
Yeah.
he did. And then he would
Let 'em know.
artificially manipulate their credit score by like refuting a bunch of things and then pulling the credit, because once you refute something or there's a certain process,
It's on pause.
it puts it on pause while your credit score gets reevaluated. So he would go in, fix up their credit score for that day, shove them through, say, "Hey, I'm going to give you
That is
10
so-
grand.
so
You're going to have
scandalous.
6 months to live in this
That is
house
so
before,"
scandalous.
and then the mortgage company is going to take it back anyways. But you've got 6 months and 10 grand in your pocket, or 6 months of living in the house rent free at least, and 10 grand or whatever you gave.
And he did that for a couple of years. He did. I know there were a minimum of 80 houses in just one city that he did that to during that time.
Wow.
Is that his problem isn't even the wholesaling, because truthfully, I wish wholesaling, is there a place for it, but it needs to be a lot more protected, because unfortunately, and I know in our state, it's starting to get a little bit of a
predatory.
spotlight because
pretty predatory. Sure.
they're going after older couples and elderly people on purpose, knowing that they just don't know. So truthfully, I would like to see something for wholesalers, but he's not going to get anything for that. Where he's going to get in trouble is, we're putting these houses in trust, and then I'm buying the trust off you. There's so many legality things that he just doesn't even know. You have the house in a trust, you sell it to me, and then I give it to him. I'm getting my finder's fee. The house is in a trust with your old mortgage, but he's the one paying the note. Well, what happens when he stops paying the note? Now you just lost the house and everything else because it's still technically your mortgage. Mm-hmm. And there's so many things that could go wrong with it. And he's just too fresh and new.
I should have led with this. How this guy got even on our radar in the first place is that same. It's laggy. That same client from Kentucky. They had a subject to dude reach out to her. She's doing for sale by owner down there, and she
right.
asked me about it, and I was like, no, and I explained to her exactly why. I was like, what they're going to do is they're going to take over payments, not actually buy the house from you. And if you would take on all of the risks of renting it out and none of the reward, because you're not even cash. That's not even off your responsibility list, right? And then this, yeah, they're. I should almost see if I can, let me get the guy's name. I wonder if it's Richard.
That's funny.
Yeah.
The other thing that I don't understand is if they've got that balance still in their name, the sellers, I wonder what they're doing to go buy a next home, because unless they're using those homes as rentals already, because if you have a note and you go to buy another house, they're going to see that old note. They're going to be like, well, this isn't your primary residence, so your taxes are going up in either the new house that you're buying or the old one. So there's a couple things fishy in there that I don't.
Yeah, your debt to income ratio would be screwed too.
Your debt to income ratio is going to
yeah.
be screwed, because you still have that payment, even though you're not the one paying it anymore. It's still in your name. So, I mean, it comes down to it. He does not give two rips about the buyer, the seller, or anybody else
Sure.
after he gets his check.
Yep.
And that's where he's going to get in trouble at, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, happy New Year, and we have no real grants to talk about yet, right? I mean, they should be.
I haven't checked.
should be
I have
coming
to-
out
they
soon.
should-
I
Yes,
hope.
next year, or excuse me, month or two, maybe. It's got some cool ones. I've got. Well, I was. It's almost like clockwork. New Year, people they get past the holidays. They're like, I want to list. I want to see some homes, or at least kind of see it. So, excited for the new season, and yeah, a lot to cover on this episode. But appreciate you guys. Leave us any comments. If I think I'm gonna tag our friend Richard when I clip these. I'll be like, hey Richard, how do you address the due on sale clause, or how do you? Depends if I want to even mess with it. So, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys, and we'll if you want to buy or sell in the state of Michigan, any one of us can help you at this table or at Synergy. How many agents do you have now?
30 some.
30. Wow.
I don't know.
That's
Something there.
it's a big amount. So, all right. Well, cool, guys. Happy to help you, and we'll see you next week at the Keeping It Real Estate podcast. Take care.